Hey guys, Model Muppet here, how are you all doing? I am doing a review roundup of Far Cry 3. By that I mean I'm not reviewing the game myself, I'm just having a look to see what all the different review sites are saying about it. So first of all, let's have a look at IGN. The guy reviewing on IGN, he starts off by looking at the story, looking at the characters, and looking at what kind of questions the game poses at you. And he comes out with a really good one here. Is how far would you go to protect the people you love, and what kind of person would you become to get them back? So this is the kind of frame of mind that he's in when reviewing this. He's definitely looking at the story and not just sort of game mechanics. He does a very good write-up of it. I won't go into that too much, but I want to go on to what's not so good about it from their review. Look at the multiplayer, on the other hand, retains very little of what makes Far Cry 3's single player campaign special. Now, we'll get on to see what other reviewers are saying, but that looks to be a bit of a downer because I used to love the multiplayer on Far Cry 2. The competitive incentives function much like Far Cry's contemporaries, with weapons and attachments unlocking with each level up. This speaks to the multiplayer's overall ambition. It's serviceable, but it's afraid to do anything other than explore old territory. And, you know, I've got to agree with that write-up. I've been reading as much information as I can about this game. And unfortunately, the multiplayer does look like it's lost a lot of what made Far Cry 2 special and the Far Cry series special. Certainly with the vehicles, we all know that. We know the limitations that have been put on the map editor and stuff. Now, he does go on to talk about the map editor. He says the extensive map editor, which allows for terrain deformation, the addition of wildlife including sharks that swim on land, angry tigers, and custom created objects present the chance to make something better. You're a little bit wrong there, because we can't put the wildlife in on multiplayer maps. We can make better maps. I love making maps. Sure, a lot of you guys do as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing that. And we're going to do the best that we can. Really looking forward to using the map editor. But man, what a missed opportunity to have that artificial intelligence in there. To put the animals in there. We could have made that experience so much different than all the Call of Duty clones that are out there. And really, that's what multiplayer seems to be looking like. Anyway, that is IGN. And we'll have a look at the score that they give it. A very good score indeed. Now, Eurogamer's reviewer seems to have some kind of a love affair thing going on, because he has fallen head over heels in love with the game. Gives a really well-rounded review of the single player. And, you know, looking at all the reviews, I can really understand that. It is a bit concerning though when he starts to touch on the other aspects of the game, because he rounds them all up in one sentence. He says, a separate co-op campaign, multiplayer and a level editor are more examples of Ubisoft going beyond the Call of Duty. Well, alright man, you know, that's a nice pun, but it's not really telling us that much about those items of the game, and some of us kind of think that those are really important. So, they give it a 10 out of 10 review, but for your review, I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you a 7 out of 10. And that's being generous, because you've left out a hell of a lot of the game. Alright, let's have a look at PC Gamer. Now, again, the guy is totally in love with the island itself, which is really understandable. I think most of us would be in agreement. We can't wait to get on the island. He's more in love with the free roam aspects than the story, and he describes the story as a bit half rubbish. It might be until we get our hands on it. We don't really know. He does mention the service, the fact that they are run on matchmaking, and he does sort of warn PC gamers that they're going to have to go through this. What's really surprising though for a PC review is that he doesn't mention that there's no dedicated service. Now, I would have thought that this is a fairly basic thing for a PC reviewing site to mention. He gives it another great score. He gives it 89. Now, I ended up going through every review I could find, and they're all saying the same thing. This is a fantastic single player experience. Some people like the story more, some people like the open world aspect more. That's understandable. But everyone is being very, very sparse on detail when it comes to multiplayer and when it comes to the map editor. For a lot of people, that's why we're getting the game. That's what sets it apart from everything else that's out there. And it is a little worrying when we find that there is no information on this. So reviewers, start doing your fucking job properly. Give us the information that we want. You know, if a game comes in 4 parts, you've got single player, you've got co-op, you've got a map editor, and you've got multiplayer. Why is it that every fucking review that I read is only telling us about the single player? I am sure the single player is going to be awesome, and I'm going to buy it for that reason alone. But you know what? I feel just a little bit let down by the way the reviewers are treating this. Anyway, this is me out. I've said all I'm going to say. Leave your comments. You know, I'm sure that some of you out there don't give a fuck about the multiplayer. You just want the single player. And I'm sure quite a lot of you don't give a fuck about the map editor or the co-op. But do reviewers actually owe us, you know, something to tell us about everything in the game, not just the bits that they want to tell us about? Leave your comments. I love to read them. This is Muffin out, and I'll see you on the island. Bye!